Here's the elephant. So I'm going to start that same process again where I start from the central form, the largest shape. And that's that torso here, the belly, and then the head would be next. And then I would do my legs and trunk towards the end. I'm just taking some quick looks to see the proportion, scale, placement. Like if I drew a straight line across, where does the head hit in terms of that back quarter? This whole body is very long and wide. It's actually about as wide here from about the ear as it is from the top of the back to the belly. So that's almost going to be a square or circular shape. So I'm going to start with a loose line to kind of get that whole back end and body. And light pressure. I'm working with vine charcoal. A softer B pencil would also work for this. And now this kind of form here is almost like a rectangle. So I'm going to pull out a rectangle there. Now I'm going to start to look through the placement of the limbs. I've got a bit of a hind quarter here I can easily do a rectangle for that back leg, paying attention to the triangle negative space in this part of the form. Square kind of negative space here. And I'm realizing I'm running out of room, so I'll probably have to edit a little bit with my scaling. That's why I'm starting nice, loose, and light. And you can see every time I'm making a form, it's a light, mainly hot dog shapes or rectangular shapes. I'm going to start to pull in the trunk. I'm going to try to imagine the different kind of junctures here. So where it starts to turn, I'm closing it off with a hot dog shape and adding in another hot dog or rectangular oval shape. So now I've got a basic kind of block to show proportion and scale, but I'm going to check my work. I'm noticing that when I draw a straight line from the center of the head down, the knee really needs to hit that section. So I know I need to pull my knee up at a slightly different angle. I can check my angle of my knee too. Looking at that negative space between the head and the knee and the trunk to make sure that lines up. Working with vine charcoal, I can just simply use my finger to erase because it's nice and light. The legs are getting a little too long. If I do the proportion and scale, how tall the legs are compared to the body, they're about half the height. So I want to make sure that that's correct. Got a little too eager with the legs at first. And now I'm going to tease out this second leg. Wipe that away because that was actually stretched out a little bit too much. For that third leg. Shorten that leg. Also change that angle. And now I can double check the back. Okay, and then adding in a little bit of details now that I'm satisfied with the proportion and scale. And if you chose to develop this drawing further with some shading, you could then start to block off some shading. Just using the edge of a vine charcoal, or you could be shading in with your pencil. Start to pull in some of those wrinkles. So I'm just trying to look at where the image of the elephant gets a little bit darker and adding some light shading to it there. And it might take you 3-4 attempts just to get that initial gesture drawing down pat, getting all the proportion and scale in the right places. Keep in mind I've been drawing for a while, so I can do it a little bit more easily with some minor adjustments, but this takes a lot of practice. So this is just a loose way of making the that kind of shading take place too. All right, so thanks for watching. Gesture drawings, lots of fun. I'll stop now.